Thinking about making a life or career pivot? Listen to this episode first. Hi, guys. I'm Katie Mild. Welcome to this week's Money Minute. In a recent poll by MSNBC, they found that almost 50% of older millennials expressed wishing that they had chosen a different career path. Now, the reasons for choosing a different career path definitely varied. Some wished that they had chosen something way more lucrative. Others wished that they had chosen to take that risk, to seek out more adventure, and to just go for it when they were younger. Others, interestingly, wanted careers that would provide more stability for later, for times in their life when they began raising families, wanting to settle down, wanting to really plant roots. So the reasons vary dramatically. But whatever the reason, I would actually counter and say that this wishful thinking and dreaming about a new career or a new pivot or wondering just what could have been, it's not just isolated to millennials. Many people of all ages and of all generations have daydreamed about trying something else and about deciding to pivot either a professional or personal aspect of their life. Now, I personally have a lot of experience in this as I have made about 4 major career pivots in my own professional journey. So I have a lot of experience in this area. Pivoting should not be impulsive, and it shouldn't be something that's just decided on a whim. People sometimes dream of stopping into their boss's office and saying, "I quit dramatically, and it will all work out," kind of like Jerry Maguire. But here's the thing: to do a pivot really well, you have to make real financial considerations and plans before you take that leap, whatever that leap looks like. So today I'm going to share just a few of my thoughts around this and a few tips to consider if you are pondering a move or some type of pivot in your life, again, whether personal or professional. The first tip: check that emergency fund. Now, you know, I always advise anyway that you need to have at least 3 to 6 months stashed away for emergency use only. And it's 3 to 6 months of your bare baseline expenses. Now, from that, and if you already follow what I say, you already have that emergency fund. But if you have more time to really plan your exit strategy for your pivot, if you have more resources at your disposal, I actually challenge you, after you've looked at your emergency fund, then set up another fund, a separate fund, and just start stashing any extra cash that you have in there. The more that you can stash away and just add on to that bare minimum 3 to 6 months of emergency expenses, the better. Now, in order to do this, in order to find extra resources that you can throw in this extra fund, it's time to go ahead and look at your budget. So my next tip: it's time to trim the fat and really get lean. Bonus points if you can get to your baseline budget, figure out where you can kind of tighten the belt a little bit to free up extra resources, and then practice. Do a practice run for at least a few months, because then you can honestly assess and go, am I ready for this? Am I able to do this? Do I even want to live like this? If you can give yourself time while being in whatever situation you're currently in, if you can give yourself time to run a test run, then you can honestly evaluate and decide if this is for you. And if you do feel like it's for you, then you can go ahead and make the pivot. The next tip: when you are planning, whether it's you're planning to maybe go from stable work to starting your own business, okay? Whatever your plan looks like, plan on doubling your financial runway and doubling the timeline that you have in mind for how long it's going to take you to get something off the ground. Here's the reality: so many small business owners, when they start their journey of entrepreneurship, they jump in, they're ready, they're wide-eyed, they're focused, they're excited, but they really do underestimate the time and the resources and just the sheer energy and will that they have to put in day out to get a new business off the ground. Some people jump in and have immediate success. That's fabulous, but plan that it's going to take a bit longer. The more financial runway that you can save, the more that you can wrap your mind around the fact that it may take a bit longer than you anticipated just to get things off that bumpy start and coasting and flying up, the better your mindset will be, and actually the longer you'll be able to hang in there. And then the last financial tip I'll give: think through your tax plan and any tax implications in advance. Bonus points again if you already work with a CPA and you can run your strategy of transition and new life post-pivot by them. There are some major financial considerations, particularly around taxes, and especially if you are used to W-2 employee work and now you're going into the 1099 independent contractor world. Huge tax considerations, huge tax changes that you have to know about. You don't want to get stuck with a surprise bill from the IRS because you didn't have enough withheld, or you didn't withhold enough and then pay your own estimated taxes. So make sure you think through, how will this impact my bottom line, and what will be my tax strategy through this transition and after. So those are just a few of my thoughts, having done, again, 4 major career pivots in my own professional journey. Here are just a few of the tips that I wish I had known when I made my very first pivot. So I hope that you find these helpful. So tell me in the comments below, have you made a pivot in your life, whether professional, with your career, or even personal, moving across the country, making some new decisions? Whatever it looks like, go ahead and ring the bell to subscribe. Tell me in the comments below. I'm always reading them and always listening. Until next time, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys later.